Well, hello there and welcome back, you lovely lot. Today we have a springtime flower design for you. Now, I'm absolutely in love with CJP's apple shine, so I wanted to do a design around that really, and the fact that we're now coming into March, I thought, right, I know exactly what we're going to do. So I've got some what they call petals. I've had them quite a while. I think they're from Magpie, but I do believe also you can actually get them from Glitter Planet now, but I think they're calling them rice pieces. But I've got them labelled as petals. Like I said, I've had them quite a while. So I thought I would get them out and do a design with those. So this is where I'm coming in on the ring finger with apple shine. It's going to be the background for these petals to lie on. Then I'm also going to have a bash at 3D flowers, and it's the very first time I've actually done something other than a rose, and it didn't go exactly according to plan. However, I've left it in, and we salvaged it, and it looks okay. I know better for next time, that's all I'm going to say on that one. But like everything else, you know, it is a learning curve. Acrylics isn't easy and it takes lots of practice. There's no two ways about it. So this year I'm going to work on my 3D acrylic. Last year it was my nail art, which I'm absolutely chuffed as punch with, and I am going to keep doing that because it is really, really easy to get out of something if you don't keep doing it, especially in acrylics, whether it's smile lines, ombres, nail art, you know, any nail art for me, you know, the painting, the hand painted stuff. If I don't keep on top of it, if I don't add it into, you know, every other design or something like that, especially as I've got a channel and I do upload 4 times a week, there's really no excuse to have something that has it in, you know, at least once a fortnight. So I'm going to keep my hand in that. But we're going to add to the mix. I need to practice my smile lines because I lost my mojo with that. I've done a couple recently, and do you ever do them sets where they just don't go right? Well, I've had a couple of those, but this one was a dream. So what have I done so far? So apple shine all the way. I'm doing a fade ombre on the little finger with Amor. So I've laid down the apple shine for now, let that set. Then I'm going to come in on the middle finger. I'm going to come halfway up at an angle for the apple shine, and then come in with this glitter mix. I've got no idea where this is. It looks a bit of a mishmash of glitters that I've got, so I'm wondering if what I've probably done at some stage, because what I used to do a lot of is if I get a glitter order and I decant it on a piece of towel, anything left over I pour into one pot, and I've got some, you know, some ace mixers from just mashing it all up. So I think this is what this is, because it's got little stars in it, it's got tinsels in it, so I'm not entirely sure. And then I do come over with Atlantis, which is a beautiful mix from the Glitter Fairy, and I'm putting those big hexes all over the top of this. There's quite a few iridescent pieces in there, so you can actually see the glitters underneath, and the build-up it's beautiful. So as always, I will do this at an angle. I will normally go down the bottom corner. As you're looking at the screen on the right, I come up over that blend and then up the top half of the tip on the left. I do like that glitter trail across the nails in that sort of shape. I do think it elongates the design, the nail. It makes it look long and slender, but that's my personal opinion. It is a preference, and I do that with a lot of my designs. Meanwhile, I'm then going to come in and we're going to do an ombre again, but I'm going to do it opposite to the little finger. So come in with that apple shine, put it around the cuticle area and fade that up. So now we're going to do the rest of the ombre on both the little finger and the pointer. So I'm going to come in with Amor, so I put that small bead on. I will fade out the back and then pull just the front of that bead. By pulling just the very front of that bead, not the back, not the whole bead, it will then cover up the line where you faded it back so you can't see any shadowing underneath. And it will also not pull that pink all over the green. And that's how I find I can get a decent ombre. Then I'm going to go in with the cuticle bead. I do bleed out the back of that bead. Pop that down, make sure it's nice and neat, and then pull that up and over that first pink bead. If I think it needs a little more green, I will come in with just a tad. It will be a really small wet bead, and I'll just keep popping them colours on until I'm happy with that blend at that blend area. Super pigmented, this apple shine. There's not very many pastel shades out there that don't marble, but honestly CJP is great. I'm going to do exactly the same on the pointer finger. So put that bead on the line, fade it back, and then pull it up and over the tip. I'll do exactly the same. I keep coming in with the small wet beads on that fade area just to get that ombre right. I'll also come in on the tip with another bead and make sure that's nice and opaque where that pink shade is. All the time you'll notice I'm very conscious of the shape of that tip. I do as much work as I can with my brush so that I have less filing to do. So you will see me pushing those sides, swipe down those sides, anything that I need to do to keep that shape on that nail while I'm working. So I'm happy with that, and then I'm going to move on to these petals, and I'm going to do them in like a zigzag shape across the nail. Now this is quite painful to watch, so the rest of the video is in real time. This one I have sped up a smidge, and I've only shown you a couple of lines. So I basically go in a zigzag. That's what I'm doing. I'm going up, down, up, down. I'll do another row the same, but the rest I didn't record. I have put down a small bit of acrylic and I'm going to put that into there, so I do have a little bit of time to move it around. So I just nudge that, and I'm just putting down a little bit, enough to put a couple of lines of the petals in. Come on Trey, put your teeth in before moving on. These are beautiful metallic petals, and I have about 3 shades in this. I think there's pink, purple, yellow and green, I think there is. That's what it looks like to me anyway. So I'm just going to keep doing this in the up down motion, and I'll do that all the way to the tip. So once I've completed this nail, I will then clear cap all 4 nails. I will file and buff them into shape before coming in with some 3D. Now my first mistake was doing the 3D on a buffed surface. I found my mind was distracted with how I was going to do it, how I was going to do just a petal. So I thought, right, okay, I'll do it in a ball, and then I need to concentrate on the middle bit being thinner and then going out on as you get towards the edge of that petal, obviously using the tip in the middle and then the belly of my brush to push it out, and then folding it back in to get that beautiful petal shape. So this is all going through my head. I totally forgot I should have top coated this nail. So when it came to top coating, I got a detailer brush and I went around it, but in future, note to self, top coat first. So I'm using my Kylie Weary 3D brush, size 5. I'm concentrating on the shape, although I want to get the petal to expand at the end. I will need to keep the centre of it really thin. And like I said, I've never done one this shape before, so I wasn't entirely sure. It was a bit of, you know, winging it and seeing what happens. So I'm going to do a bigger flower at the bottom here. Now that was far too big. That ball was too big for the size petals that I needed. Again, whiz that away, whiz some of it away. Doesn't seem to be enough. I'm waiting for it to go slightly matte so I can start playing with it. If you try and play with it too early, you're just going to make a mess everywhere. It just doesn't work. So I can see I can just take a little bit more off here in a minute. So I'll just dig that out, whip it away, because of course those other petals have now set. So I can go in and finish off this petal, concentrating on that shape, using the belly in my brush. And I continue with that all the way round with the next 2 petals. Now here's me getting a little bit cocky, thinking I'll do 2 of the petals together because I've got to wait for it to come out anyway. No, note to self, do not do 2 beads close to each other like this. They just run into each other and become more out of control, more work for me to do, and we all know how much I don't like more work for me to do. So anyway, continue with that, do those little petals. Now another thing as well, I was going to put a gem in the middle. That was my plan, to do 2 little spring flowers on this nail using this apple shine, because I absolutely love the colour. I thought it looked really pretty, so I do a big one at the bottom, a smaller one at the top, and I put a gem in the middle. I changed my mind a little bit further down the line and I just used a bead in the centre. I didn't change my mind till like right at the end, and that wasn't recorded, but that's what I do eventually. So I'm just going to let you watch while I try and do a little spring flower at the top of this nail. So once I'm happy with that, I then go around those petals with a detailer brush and some top coat that's in that little white tray there, and I will continue to top coat all of these nails. Then guys, I will give that full cure, and that's the end of the video. I really do hope you've enjoyed this little nail play today. If you have, please take a moment and hit that thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed already, I would absolutely love it if you would. Until next time guys, thanks for watching. Bye.